Well, you know, for me, I think that we have a problem in Kenya, and that is a trust issue. Even the elaborate process that we have put in place, that you must count at the polling center, at the constituency, at the county, at the, it all points to a trust deficit, okay? And the biggest challenge that we had going into the election was the trust deficit. People did not trust that the Electoral Commission would carry out a credible process. But then I also say, let's look at the entire thing, okay? Let's look at the entire process, because while elections are not an event, it's actually a process. The general election is an event, okay? The process begins with the primary process, the political parties, the nominations, how people find themselves on these ballots, okay? A process that is supposed to be supervised by the IEBC, and a process that tends to be extremely opaque, because political parties in and of themselves are not institutions of governance. They are personality cults. They are led by individuals who make arbitrary decisions. We observed the primaries, and we could not get any political party to furnish us with their nomination rules, the rules of how you are going to carry out the process to ensure your members get onto this ballot. There was a mishmash of everything. They were, you know, consensus. There were opinion polls, and they could not tell us whether it was opinion polls that were carried out by credible institutions, or the methodology that was going to be used, or whether it was the Willis Pinky Ponky that was going to be used to arrive at a candidate. You know, it was just opinion polls. Others just simply decided, you know, they were giving direct tickets. So this primary process is marred with a lot of opacity, right? And political parties are not held accountable to that. They are supposed to have members registers, and those are the members who are supposed to participate in the primary processes. Yet these political parties do not have members registers. To her credit, a registrar of political parties, Anne Derito, she has really been trying to streamline them. But political parties are very reluctant, you know, to be accountable. So we have a problem from that place. So, you know, there's this saying, mwizi hufikiria mwenzake mwizi pia. You know the kind of shenanigans you engage in at a party level, how you arrive at things, and how you are able even to compromise systems and processes so that you can have your way. And you always assume that people are doing the same thing that you are doing. The other thing is, from 2017, 2018, IEBC has been an institution under siege, okay? Remember that we had one commissioner who left, Rosalind Akombe. By April of 2018, 3 commissioners arbitrarily resigned, citing a lack of faith in the chairman. But the question is, was it actually orchestrated? Because from the look of things, it looked like it was orchestrated to create a collapse of the institution. But the 3 commissioners did not resign. Later on, we even saw some trying to go back and saying they didn't actually resign. IEBC was then subjected to denial of resources, denial of partnerships. Partners, development partners, were strictly warned not to work with the IEBC or even support them in anything. So their hands were tied. Yet, the preparations for the elections must begin immediately. You have concluded the general election. You start planning for the next one. 2019, IEBC submitted their election operation plan to Parliament. They were not funded. In fact, the commissioners, the law stipulates that if a vacancy arises in the commission, within 14 days, the president is supposed to empanel that selection committee that will then make the replacements. This did not happen until August of 2021. This is a year to the elections, is when now the institution was properly constituted. And then there was a rush to fund this and that. So I think a lot of that has contributed to gaps and even possibilities of people, you know, working together to create certain scenarios, right? So in this, you see, we are quick to point fingers at IEBC. Nobody is saying anything about the role of Parliament, because Parliament never held the President to account, asking, Mr. President, why haven't you empaneled the committee to replace commissioners? Parliament denied them the resources. Nobody was asking, why has Parliament not funded the IEBC to prepare for the 2022 elections? And then suddenly, when things go wrong, we are all quick to point fingers. We should be pointing fingers at ourselves collectively, because we have created a situation that has created a perfect storm. Because anything is possible within that period where a lot of this fighting was going on. Maybe people found each other and decided how they were going to do things. These allegations are serious allegations. This is not a contest of my man wins or my man loses. These are serious allegations. They are treasonable, because to subvert the will of the people is a treasonable offense. It's a coup. So what they are alleging, if this can be proved, then it is a very serious offense. But also in Kenya, what have we done around electoral fraud? We've had electoral fraud over the years. People are not arrested. Nobody's been to jail. 2017, we had an election nullified. Who was penalized for whatever the courts found to be in error? Nobody. People were promoted. Others have been rewarded, but nobody has been penalized. So we keep creating. I like that Willis said we can't keep coming back to the Supreme Court. Indeed, we cannot. But what are we doing, even as Kenyans and our leaders, to ensure that this process is cleaned up? We have a problem in Kenya, and that problem is that we have enough dishonest people who are willing to be co-opted into criminality, you know. And it starts at the primary processes. That too is criminality, where you can sit in a room somewhere and tick so that Olive can be the candidate on the ballot. So this is a problem, and we need to face up to it. It plays out very nicely here, you know, but it is a deeper problem than just the Supreme Court battles.
Okay. We need to take a big